third year at Davis campus. First, a couple housekeeping points about how this session will work. All right, so this session is meant to be an organic conversation between you and Sonia. I will be the moderator for this session, and we'll start us with a couple questions, but then we hope that you will lead the conversation. These sessions are smaller and are more intimate and interactive. So we encourage you to turn on your mic and camera for the duration of the session. So to do that, click on the share audio and the video button on the top left corner. The moderator for the session will then approve you. There is actually a limit of how many people can come on screen at one time, but we will rotate through the attendees. So everyone who would like to come on camera will get to. All right, and you also can always type your questions and or comments into the chat section too. I will be moderating the chat and we'll read out your question. All right, perfect. So now on to our great speaker. Through authentic leadership, Sonia strives to create a culture of engagement by inspiring her team to be early adapters in a rapid changing environment and spearhead the future of industry. Sonia maintains her purpose as a leader is to inspire confidence in capabilities and become the leaders and innovators of tomorrow. So Sonia aspires to unlock the potential of people and create an environment of motivation and reward. In earning the trust of her employees and clients, Sonia is certain to add value and impact in their lives. So, hi Sonia, please take a couple minutes to introduce yourself and briefly tell us about what you do.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I'm very excited to join this session My name is Sonia Saluja. I'm a branch manager at RBC in the Mississauga market, and leading a team of 30 people who are aspiring like yourself to be leaders of tomorrow and really supporting their career journeys. About myself, I'm a mother of two. And on my personal side, my passion is to volunteer. I volunteer very avidly at the Trillium Hospital to support the seniors. I joined the organization about 15 years ago, and my story is the newcomer dream, is what I call myself. Joined the organization 15 years ago as new to the country and really knowing what I wanted to do, which is leadership, and joining the forces of an organization called RBC, which supported me in these 15 years to have those dreams come true, aspiring myself to have that balance of work life, supporting me as I went back to school, supported me when I became a mother, and really aspiring me to become a leader of tomorrow. So what I say is, if I could do it through all the hurdles, a new country, a new home, a language, then anyone can do it, and aspire my team to get their best version to work every single day. All I say is that we all are leaders in our own right. Whether you're leading a team or you're mentoring, we're all are leaders in our own right. So today I'm excited to join you all and share what RBC can do for you, for the youth of tomorrow, because you are the generation of tomorrow, and we can inspire you to get your best version to your career forces.
All right, awesome. So we just want to deeply know, so can you please share an overview of your career story with us? How did your career path take you to where are you now? And were there any pivotal or unexpected moments that set your career in motion?
Absolutely. So when I began the journey, even though you're aspiring to be a leader, when you join the organization, somehow, you have to get inside the organization to get the best version of yourself. So even though I did not begin my journey as a leader, but what I aspired myself is that I want to quickly spearhead into a moment where my peers, my colleagues, and my leaders see me as a leader. So on the personal side, I was running projects they would see me as a leader. So I began my journey as what we call traditionally a client advisor, which is the frontline staff, solving issues for our clients, helping them with their moments of advice, and thereon realized how gratifying it is to support your peers and become a mentor. So even though I was an advisor for most part of my journey, in the middle of my journey, that pivotal moment came when I was being a mentor to my colleagues. And I saw how gratifying it is when I see someone grew from what I had shown them into their own personal journey. And that's when the change of leadership came in my life. Leadership is gratifying, it's humbling, it is gratifying. There are days where you feel overwhelmed, but that's okay. And therefore, taking that moment and having my own mentors to help me decide my own personal journey, decided that this is the journey I want to pursue with passion, with care, being humble, being authentic, is what I call it, took me to my role today. So I joined the leadership team about 3 years ago and leading a team of 30 now. And there is no looking back, because leadership can be so humbling and gratifying. And we can all inspire each other to become the leaders of tomorrow.
All right, awesome. I agree with you as well. For me, I work as a peer mentor. It's a kind of leadership part-time job at Sheridan, where I just like navigate and have new or like current students at the campus.
Yeah.
I agree with you that, leadership is kind of like overwhelming a little bit, where you expect that you have to know everything. And but it's kind of like humbling and authentic at the same time as well. And I really agree with you. And also, like, RPC Future Launch is focused on helping young people develop the skills and the resources they need to be ready for the future of work, as well as support young leaders in their development as change makers in their business and in the community. And you also can like further explain RPC Future Launch and some resources that we can use to help ignite our leadership.
Absolutely. If you're not following RBC Future Launch through our public side of RBC, I would highly encourage you to do so, because besides giving that cliche work experience, is what we call it, we inspire our youth of tomorrow to join in. And through artificial intelligence, it's called Magnet. If you're not following Magnet, it's a great platform where you can go in, and through artificial intelligence, kind of, it tells you the roles which is within the organization, which we can help you, or even outside the organization. If you're looking to become a leader, it's a great app you can follow through RBC Future Launch. The other thing I would highly recommend would be really what we call the networking. It's called 10,000 Coffees, where we are constantly networking with youth like yourself, where we are becoming mentors on your journey, where we're inspiring you to take on those work relationships and really helping you navigate your career. So highly recommending you follow RBC Future Launch. The one that's my favorite is called the Rbc Career Launch, where we put you into what we call a session of a year, where you are really thrown into 3 or different programs of RBC. So youth, as we know, sometimes they come into the organization and not knowing the best version of themselves. So this program really allows you to kind of taste different parts of the organization. So it's called Rbc Career Launch, where you will be in a session, for a year, where you'll be thrown into 5 different groups of RBC. So one being the retail stores, which where I work. The other is our national office, a nonprofit organization. So therefore, as a leader or as an inspiring career guide, you will get to know what is the best for me. Like, what do I enjoy doing the most? I believe that your career should be a journey where you get up in the morning and really are excited to go to work. So RBC Future Launch kind of guides you through that journey to say, okay, this is your strengths. These are your opportunities. This is where you will be best kind of highlight your skills and opportunities. So it's called a Magnet. So a great app for youth of tomorrow to kind of launch in and see what RBC can do. Having said that, RBC Future Launch has tons of scholarships, which I don't think many people take advantage of, where you can kind of really gain the skill through, we do it every 3 times in a year, where you can earn scholarships from RBC Future Launch and really get the guidance of RBC for your career journey. So RBC Future Launch was created for youth like yourself, to inspire you, to help you with the jobs of tomorrow. Great mentorship programs right there in Future Launch. So if you haven't joined in or not following RBC Future Launch, I would highly recommend that. If you need help, I am on LinkedIn. Please follow me on LinkedIn, and I can guide you through RBC Future Launch, we can have a quick virtual chat and kind of help you navigate those different platforms RBC Future Launch has to offer.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing those useful resources and information for folks here who have to know to like join the future RPC Future Launch. Feel free to reach out to Sonia. And it's kind of like in this new area of unknowns, change-making leadership is more necessary than ever. So a phone call could seem so small, but in the reality, the effect lasts longer than we could know. So for you, how could and how can we become a change makers?
Well, change makers is a journey too. So when I look at myself as a leader, I would say the biggest focus for change would be the 3 C's I call themselves, which is really communicating, making sure that your voice is heard, your opinions matter, and it's a radical feedback which you get from your leaders. Then the other thing really would be, how do I pivot to make those uncertain decisions? So when I'm making a decision and it's a time of uncertainty, how do I learn to be that change decision maker, which will really keeping the mitigating the risk of RBC in mind and really helping the journey of the client. So I would say communicate is a skill which we need to learn as change makers. The second really would be collaborating. I mean, we have a network of RBCs who are surrounding me. And as a change leader, how do I collaborate with different partners, network my team, myself into collaboration and lending a platform of change? So collaboration can mean with your peers, collaboration can mean networking within the organization, and really then committing towards that leadership change would be really kind of coming up with those ideas of being resilient and persistent, asking yourself to devote more time, my own time to make that change, devoting my own decision making to make that change, and lending that ear to my peers when they're having those radical change moments. So as a change leader, I would say communication, collaboration, and commitment would be the 3 things I would take as a skill and pivot myself to be more agile and flexible.
All right, awesome. I would say communication is a really, really good way for me. Again, I am a peer mentor, and communication is really, really important to me and as well as the student as well, because we kind of like communicate what is the problems or what should I help with you. So leadership kind of like need a really, really good communications. And so as a leader, so can you explain the difference between formal and non-formal leader? What do informal leaders bring to an organization and or to society? And why is informal leadership so important?
Great question, Luan. So much right back to the students who are listening to me. If in one word you can tell me, Luan or Rabia, Laura, I can see your faces. What is your definition of a leader? What do you think a leader is?
For me, leader is kind of like the path, the where the best path for you to go. Not only guide your teammate, your peer, but you can guide you as well to choose the best path, the best destinations, to be become successful. That's the leadership for me.
Yeah, well, that's what a leadership is. Laura, I think you had your speaker on.
Yeah. So, in my opinion, leaders are people who empower their employees to become even more successful and to guide them, so they can both benefit themselves and the organization. So
Yeah, well,
empowerment of others.
yeah, great point, Laura. And that's a formal leader. A leader is someone who has, influence on the actions of the others, who leads a team of people, who makes those decisions in uncertain times, who communicates, who's a problem solver, a coach, and of course, with coaching the team to get their best version is a sense of responsibility, right? So for me, that's a leader. A leader who can be impactful will be the leader who has care, empathy, and has the skills to lead a team in the most difficult times. I mean, we all hearing about the war in Ukraine, and for me, leader, which is the president of Ukraine, is standing, amongst all the chaos, he's standing strong with his family and supporting a country he's passionate about. And that's a true leader, right? And then we have informal leaders. So for me, a formal leader would be the one who, has that so-called title. I'm a branch manager of RBC, so I have the title of being a leader. And that's a formal leader. And with leadership comes a sense of responsibility, a sense of coaching your team to inspire them, to motivate them. I would say, a leader has to have that sense of making those decisions in tough times, which we can clearly see a good leader would do that. Be authentic, be caring, and have an impact on the people they're leading. But then in your own rights, all of us are also informal leaders. Laura, you can be, having a peer who really looks up to you and kind of sees you as someone who they inspire to be. And that for me is informal leader. So all of us can be leaders. You can take on leadership even as an informal leader, have a peer or a colleague, and feel that sense of gratification when you see them grow. And for me, that's informal leadership. So I truly believe that all of us are leaders. All of us can be leaders. All of us can really inspire people. And sometimes we don't even know that we're actually inspiring people. For me, leadership, and that's how for me leadership came along. So when I was a mentor to a group of advisors and I was coaching them and showing them the path of their goals and their careers, I realized how impactful I was even as an informal leader. So from informal leader, I became a formal leader. So always kind of look at yourself and say, what is my passion when I'm showing someone a path or showing somebody a goal? And what feelings do I get when they actually reach that goal and inspire to be that person? And for me, that's an informal leader. So really, all of us can be leaders. And Laura, you put it in a very nice way in one powerful word. It's called empowerment. And you can empower people even as informal leaders.
Oh, I see. And also, Rabia, leadership is part of taking an initiative, an informed initiative.
Yes. Yeah, I like the idea. And that's what, when you look at the influence you can make in having those ideas, for us, that's leadership, right? So when you're influencing somebody with your ideas, with your thoughts, you're actually inspiring to be an informal leader. So Rabia, nice thought and nice words. Thank you for sharing.
All right. So our follow-up question is, a leadership mindset, whether informal or formal leadership, involves having certain attitudes, beliefs, and expectations that create the foundation of who we are. So how we lead others and how we interact with and influence others. And how do you bring a leadership mindset to your everyday life? And how can we take the steps to having a leadership mindset?
I think a leadership mindset is really, first of all, adapting quickly and always wanting to learn new things. A mindset about being curious, looking outside your industry and seeing how do I act on those new ideas? How do you invest your own personal energy into being a leader? And for me, the biggest one was the 2 years of adapting really was around taking those intelligent risks for my business. What I learned as a leader was that perfection versus getting done. Like we all inspire ourselves to be perfect because, that's the way we are as human beings. I want to do everything perfectly. But then, learning that mindset that it is okay to let go. So delegation as a leader, for me, that is extremely important. You cannot conquer the entire thing on your own. Delegation and having that mindset of trusting others to do the tasks you inspire them to do, that for me is a leadership mindset. The other one that I really, really believe is how do I unlock the potential of our people? How do I commit to really being that leader that is inclusive, that's candid, that's sincere, that allows people to have that space where they can work and get their best version, and also have the courage and I would say the strength to be a bold leader, because you are sometimes put in situations as a leader where you have to really give an honest feedback. And that for me was very tough, because you're always trying to kind of make sure the other people is not feeling bad. Am I hurting them? But if you are a true leader, you really care about your people and you're sincere, then that honest talk, as what we call it, is really, really important. And having that sense of when you're debating with the passion and really getting the values of success onto yourself, I would say that is the true leader's mindset. So to put it in a few words, I would say driving myself to an impact every single day, learning every single day, getting the best version of the team I work with, getting their best version to work every day, and speaking good about the organization. Whether any organization you work for, you are speaking your mind, you're speaking the truth, and you're getting the best values out of that organization to your people. So I would say for me, that is the mindset of a leader.
All right, thank you so much for a wonderful leadership mindset. And I have seen in the chat section that Laura have some questions for you. So Laura, you feel free to unmute yourself and ask any.
Hi, Sonia.
Hi, Laura.
So, I have some questions because in the future I will be having a leadership role, like in maybe 2 months. So I know as a leader you will have to take different decisions and action. So my question is, how can you convince your people, or how can you make them accept that idea or the decision?
Great question, Laura. And I would say, yeah. So first of all, congratulations as you're starting your journey as a leader. So I'm very happy for you. And I would say focusing on what we call being authentic. So your people will ask you as to the decision you are making. Why is it right? So you have to really show them not how to do it, but why should you do it. So I would say being authentic, being transparent, creating that environment of being curious and investing in the learnings of your employees, and showing them that it is okay to have questions. You're a leader in your own right, but showing your vulnerability as a leader is also important. I may not have all the answers to all the questions my team asks me, but what I commit to them is that, I will get the answers for you. So if you follow the model of what we call being authentic, being transparent, and showing them the reasons why you're doing that. So if you tell somebody to do something versus showing them the reasons that if you do it this way, this is the impact. So behaviors versus activities, the outcomes, right? So and as a leader, what you can learn also is that it is okay to fail. I started a journey with RBC where I was showing my team a certain direction, and that did not work. So it's okay to pivot, to fail, and say, you know what, guys, we started the initiative, not working very well. What are your thoughts on it? So if you have that inclusive leadership program, if you have that sense of being candid and vulnerable, they will follow you for being what they call being authentic. So RBC has taught me that authentic leadership, being transparent, having a thought process where we can get the best version of ourselves every day, adapting to being agile, and really creating that sense of, being inclusive mindset, whether it's in your thoughts, in diversity, in culture. That's what they will follow you. They'll follow you for you being yourself, Laura, you being honest, and you having an opinion where it is not your opinion, but an opinion of the organization, an opinion that will help the entire team.
Thank you so much, Sonia. And I really liked when you mentioned that you being yourself, because I really like everyone being themselves in all aspects, like in like, let's say, in all type of jobs. Being yourself is a really crucial thing. Thank you so very much. And I had 2 questions and you already answered that it is okay to fail. So I was asking what happened if you couldn't make it. So thank you so very much.
No, appreciate that. And that's what RBC has taught me. And right from, from the head, our CEO, to someone like myself, where we come up with plans and ideas, and those plans and ideas may not work. If you look at 2 years that have gone by, our clients, did not like the platform we were sharing with them from WebEx. So we had to kind of pivot and kind of go adapt with them, right? So, did we learn? Yes, absolutely. Did we fall, and did we get up and scrape our knees and run ahead faster? Yes, we did. So as a leader, I think if you show that you're vulnerable, that you can have, not every day can be perfect, then your team will follow you, because they'll be okay also to be vulnerable. They'll also be okay to not have the perfect day every single day.
Awesome. I agree that being yourself is really, really, really essential, not only in life, but in work as well.
Absolutely.
And also, we do have another question by Inya. What are some most challenging moments in your career as a leader, and how did you overcome it?
I would say the most challenging moments are when, as a leader, you are a role model to your teams. They look up to you for ideas, thoughts, and they look up to you, how your reactions are in your worst days. So as a role model, I would say, when I see something wrong happening, whether it's, in the branch, I'm in a branch network, where I feel that there is something wrong happening, whether it's to my team, whether it's to a client, I stand up for right. I always stand up to what is the right thing. So that inner voice inside me always comes alive. And, in moments, of course, we went through emotional turmoil in the last 2 years, where people were feeling, vulnerable, where there was a lost moment for our clients, for our employees, and where I see something wrong is happening, and how do I react to the situations and not keep quiet, is a tough decision, because those are the days where they look up to me and say, okay, this is a bad day, where we're having a client who maybe not happy or screaming, or having words which are disrespectful. What do I do as a leader then? You speak up. So you speak up for yourself, for your culture, for your diversity. And those are tough moments, because they're looking at you and seeing you reacting to a bad situation. So as a leader, as a role model, I feel sometimes, Laura, you're getting inside the leadership role, or others, that you're always on stage. You're always being watched for your reactions. And those are tough moments for me. But then how do I learn from those tough moments is that you get your best, your authentic self, what you feel is right, and stand next to what is right. And people see through that. People will see through if you are honest or not honest. And I feel that as a leader, if you get your best version, if you're authentic, you're true, you're honest, and you team up with the right, then they will see through it. And for me, those were tough days, where I had to stand up for the right thing, whether it was, cultural, or the accent, or people screaming for wrong reasons to my team, or to the employees. I would say those were tough days, where I had to stand up and say, well, no one can treat my team like this. And you make those tough decisions, and you stand up for the right thing. So those are my tough days.
What a really, really meaningful answer. All right. All right. Awesome. So we have Avina have a questions. Feel free to unmute your mic, or you feel free to just type your questions in the chat section, and say thank you so much, Sonia.
Thank you, Hina. Albina, do you have a question for me?
All right. Right, awesome. So, just waiting for Avina have a questions. For me, myself, I found that leadership can sometimes feel like a really, really heavy word, especially you have to be a role model for your teammates, for your peer, and or the title reserved for CEOs or managers. But what we are learning today is that anyone can be a leader and anyone can drive change and inspire lasting connections. So what are your thoughts on this and any advice on how can we drive change and inspire lasting connections?
Absolutely. I think the first thing we all have to learn as leaders is what we call emotional intelligence. I would say self awareness as to what your own personal strengths are, the skills you want to work on, and also, high degree of emotional intelligence. So I would say we're looking for, we're always looking for those tight deadlines that I have to achieve this by certain deadline, but really having that sense of self-awareness and creating an environment of care and empathy, I would say has stood out for me as a leader. The other thing would be motivating myself. Like, every day when I get up in the morning, I need to motivate myself and say, you know what, I truly love what I do every single day. And having that sense of motivating my team to be their best themselves. The other thing really would be, how do you inspire your peers to become leaders? And that would be by delegation. So, was it tough? Yes. Well, I'm technically a leader who's 3 years old in the leadership. And for me, that was difficult. Like, how do I delegate tasks to people? Like, how do I give them a task and then trust that they would do it in a regulatory manner, right? So, that was something I need to inspire myself and say, okay, I need to really ensure that I'm motivating my team and I'm having the issue of trust, making sure that the team I'm leading has a sense of trust and care with each other. And the other would be the big one, I would say, as a leader, is that social skill, because you need to have that capacity to, share your vulnerability. And Luan was sharing a couple of things with us in the morning, and he told us that he used to be camera shy prior to becoming a peer mentor. And how do you take that lens away and open up the camera and speak in public? I would say that was a skill which Luan taught me this morning, that it's okay to be shy prior to being a mentor and then learning that skill. So I would say, the change mindset would be around self-awareness, emotional and intelligence, self-regulation, relating yourself with the others, putting yourselves in their shoes and feeling what they're feeling. And a big one would be the social skills, which we need to attain as a leader.
All right, awesome. All right, so Avina has the questions. As a student, I try my best to be ahead and work on building my portfolio. I have applied to many internships in competitive companies and have faced many rejections. So what is the best way to deal with rejection?
Alvin, a great question. I'll share you my personal story. So when I began my journey with RBC, and I knew I was an inspiring leader, I applied for roles within the organization and rejected. And because reasons, even within the RBC organization, rejected because they felt I did not have the skills and the capacity to be a leader. So when you are, rejected, I mean, for yourself, I did not call myself a failure. What I stood up was, what skills can I learn to become the inspiring leader? So going back to, your mentors who would then coach you or guide you, and seeing that, okay, what are the skills I need to, get to that level of becoming a leader or even getting a role within the organization. So they're not seeing the rejection as a failure. It's seeing rejection as a building block or a rock, which you want to kind of take that hurdle off and learn from it. So yes, I was rejected, I would say 3 times for the role I wanted to apply for, but I kept inspiring myself and had mentors within the organization. So I would say having a strong mentor, which I know is really important, and finding that core of mentorship and leaning onto them for support and ideas and taking it from there. So took me about 5 years, took on different roles within the organization, learned the skills which would make me, fit for a leadership role. And from there onwards, pivoted towards being a leader. So not really looking at it as a failure, but really a building block, I would say, to learn more and kind of take it as a building block than really a rejection. So, to your point, I would say I truly hope you have a great mentor who can help you, inspire you, motivate you, and give you the courage of that positive attitude we need every single day to get, again, the best version of yourself. So there is a role out there for you. It's just waiting for Elvina to show up.
Thank you for that.
All right, perfect. So just a follow-up question is also related to co-op job and co-op work as well. So like Rbc Future Launch speaks a lot about work integrated learning opportunities and how they can help bridge these gaps and kickstart successful careers. How do we get involved in work integrated learning opportunity? Does this only mean having a co-op or internship through school?
But not necessarily. You can. There is a lot of scope around Rbc Future Launch. So prior to the start of the call, I introduced what we call our career launch or our 10,000 coffees, a great spot for you to kind of network and get inside the organization. My personal favorite really is the career launch because it allows youth like yourself to kind of focus on what you enjoy the most. So, I see a lot of youth joining the organization and really not liking what they were doing because, did not inspire them or they did not really enjoy the role itself. So career launch, if you're looking at the different integrated part of Rbc, would be a great spot for you to go in and kind of see yourself in 3 or 4 parts of Rbc. And then choose what you like the best, right? So it can be national office, it can be Rbc Capital Markets, it can be a retail store like where I work, it can be nonprofit organization. So based on those 1 year, you have the rotation program as what we call it. You will then get to see, okay, you know what, I love myself in this part of the organization, or I love myself in this part of the organization, and then really aspiring yourself to reach that spot. So again, if you're not joining the Rbc Future Launch or following them, I would highly recommend. Great places to go through to navigate your career journey. Great networking place is called 10,000 Coffees. We have sessions every single month where we are inspiring youth like yourself to, join the workforce and get inspired, not necessarily Rbc, and having those meaningful dialogues with you to inspire you to have that attitude of a career journey. There are a lot of, apps called The Ripen. It's called Magnet. Those are great places, again, to join in through Rbc Future Launch to kind of navigate your own personal journey. The other one, which I do a lot is, I help you kind of have those mock interviews, because some of us may be great in the role, but then when we go in front of the interview, you kind of, are not your best version. So what we do with Rbc is we have these sessions, and you're welcome to join us, where we have these mock interviews, where we have these building your resume sessions, where we are rocking in your LinkedIn profile so that you stand out in the crowd. So those are sessions open on Future Launch. So, you're more than welcome to join those sessions and learn from them and really inspire from the leaders of Rbc to find a role, hopefully with Rbc, but inspiring yourself to have a journey anywhere where you see your best yourself.
All right, thank you. I actually definitely gonna check the Rbc Launch Future after this session. What is the really great opportunity? For me, before this session, I was thinking that, the opportunity just come up when you have the co-op or internship through school. But at the moment, as like a pandemic happens, so it's really hard to like buy the a placement. But definitely go to check it. The Rbc Future Launch is a really good opportunity as well. All right. And all right, so let's talk for a minute about the power of mentoring, informal and formal mentoring relationships. Have young people in all areas of life, emotional, social, academic, and employment. How can we find a good mentor? And what advice do you have to those people who find the process of finding a mentor intimidating and scary?
Good question, Luan. So first of all, I think mentoring is super important for leaders because with mentoring, what you get is the best version of yourself. It generates confidence, it generates, inspires trust, and really search for the good talent, right? So as we all know, getting a good talent in organizations is getting tougher by the day. So finding that good mentor will help you inspire towards building that trust, building that passion for your career. It aligns very quickly with your own mindset. So if you're looking for a mentor, it doesn't have to be, in the same career journey as yourself. A mentor will be the person who will inspire you, and I would say give you a radical feedback. Even though I've been with the organization for the past 10 years with RBC and having a personal journey, and I know exactly where I want to navigate, I still have a mentor who gives me a good shake up once in a while and tells me, a radical feedback, which is so important because sometimes when you are kind of going through the day every day, you're thinking you're doing the right things. And then your mentor will turn up and say, well, you know what, let's give you a shake. And it's like a morning coffee for me. So she inspires me every single morning with, motivational chat or a conversation. And she was actually my guide when I began my journey with RBC. So even though we've parted ways in the organization, she's gone a different direction and I've gone a different direction. I've carried on being her mentee, as what I call it, for the past 10 years. So I would say find a mentor who is true, authentic, gives you a radical feedback, and tells you the real story. Because sometimes, you may find a mentor who's trying to sugarcoat things or tell you a different story, but you need to find a mentor who, one, you're very comfortable with. You got to be yourself when you're with your mentor. With my mentor, I have told her, my vulnerable moments within the organization. I've told her, my bad days, my good days, my success, my failures, and there is no judging. So you got to find a mentor for one, where you are most comfortable, where you get your true self to your mentor. And as a mentee, you're willing to listen, be curious, and take actions. I mean, there's no point having a mentor who's telling you a story, and as a mentee, you're not kind of navigating or changing, right? So you got to have a mentor who is inspiring, motivating, helps you guide, gives you a radical candor, as what we call it, radical feedback. And you as a mentee are willing to make those changes, because sometimes we become little, stuck in our journey, and we don't realize that we're not changing. I mean, I say I'm not a tree, I need to change, right? So really finding that mentor who will give you that positive feedback, that authentic passion, who cares about you. So find that mentor who actually cares about you, and you have similar, I would say, passions and mindset. And it's okay to change a mentor. So, I had a mentor before. I was not my true version of myself in front of that mentor. So I changed my mentor. And that inspires me to be now a mentor to others, right? To yourselves or to anybody else within the organization. It is a difficult role, I would say, but it's a very inspiring role. I mean, I have two mentors joining us today, Luan and Chiral. And, it is difficult to be a mentor, but it's inspiring. It's inspiring to, guide them or navigate them or inspire them every single day. So I would say find a mentor who is authentic, true, passionate, has the same mindset like yourself, where you are your best version and you're your true version of yourselves. And you feel that you're not being judged, because as a mentor, you don't want to be judged. As a mentee, you don't want to be judged. So I would say those are the true definitions of being a mentor and being a mentee. So, Albina, if you had a question about rejection, your mentor will then guide you towards that journey, right? So find a mentor who is really authentic and caring, I would say.
Oh, I see. For me, my mentor is kind of like really my mom kind of like mentored me. I see my mom as a mentor because she inspired me like literally every day when she's wake up and she's like, you know what, I'm so tired for school, but my mom just inspiring me, keep going, hand tough, you can do it. Like I don't want to say like, okay, mom, okay, but but she's kind of like inspiring me every day. But yeah, thank you so much, mom.
Yeah, I think we all have what we call work mothers, right? So a mentor is like having a work mommy or a work daddy, I would say.
Yes, it
No, and I want
is.
to respect the time of the session. It is 1:42. So if anybody has a question, please feel free to ask me. If not, then I want to make sure that the session is respecting everyone's time and respecting the fact that we have a certain protocol to kind of go through. So and up to you if you want to carry on the session. It's 1:42 and we respect everyone's time, right? It's 1:33 actually. So make sure that everybody's fitting into that protocol of our timelines.
Yeah, I see. So just one more questions, like leadership is everywhere, even in Sheldon or other college. So like for as a really large organizations like RPC, so like what does leadership mean to an organization as large as RPC?
Well, not to sound cliche, but it means for RBC and for myself, it really means authentic. It means being transparent. It means really having that sense of self-awareness and having a sense of achieving an outcome and a goal. So authentic for me is not just a word, it's a drive. It's something which I inspire myself to be every single day. It's difficult, but yet I would say in simple terms, for an organization like RBC, it is really being authentic. It's really being transparent and really having that self-contrast information that not all of my ideas are right, not all of my decisions can be right, and having that moment of being vulnerable and having the passion to grow and learn and having that sense of self-awareness. I'd say as a leader, Laura, if you're joining leadership forces, I would say self-awareness is a trait which you really need to inspire yourself to be. If you do not know yourself, your own opportunities or your own skills, I don't call it weakness, I call myself learning opportunities. I would say that is the true version of a leader, where you are authentic, caring, empathetic, self-aware, and really having the boundaries of learning every single day. Being a curious learner is what RBC teaches me every single day.
All right, awesome. Thank you. All right, folks, we have time for one more questions as we have only like approximately 5 to 10 minutes. So this hour just flew by. All right, so what final piece of advice do you have for students to help ignite their leadership potential?
So ideas would be actually really, having that mentor who is a leader and seeing I would say, the day in a life of a leader, right? So first of all, what we put at the very start was that each one of us is a leader in our own right, whether you are a peer mentor like Chiral or Luan, or you are a study guide to some of your peers who are inspiring to be like yourself. We all are leaders in our own way. To ignite your own personal leadership, I would say follow a leader and follow their journey. Follow to see what they went through as a leader, whether it was skills, opportunities, goals, workshops. So I'm blessed to be with RBC, which gives me that whole momentum of all this and more. So I follow a leader who I want to be. I am inspiring myself to be that leader every single day. So what we do is we meet for a virtual coffee chat. We used to meet first for a real coffee chat, but now it's a virtual coffee chat. So we meet every single month, and we share ideas and thoughts, and also tips on what I can do differently as a leader to reach where I want to be. The second thing we share really is, her personal journey, her personal failures, her learnings, and aspiring myself to be that sort of a leader. So, in simple words, I would say, ignite yourself to, first of all, get your best version. Be authentic, be caring, be empathetic. Kindness is a trait which is, you may call it old fashioned. I truly believe that kindness is something which we all need to aspire ourselves as a leader, and get yourself to be, authentic and caring. And, it's okay to not know all the answers. So, in simple words, get a mentor, get a leader who will aspire you, and see their journey, and see what they are aiming themselves towards every single day. So, finding a good mentor and finding a good coach, I would say, will help you ignite that leadership skills you all are aspiring to be.
All right, wonderful. Thank you so much. All right, folks, it looks like our time is up, but thank you everyone for all your great questions. And thank you, Sonia, once again for taking the time to be here today. I really enjoy hearing about, being yourself. Everyone could be a leader, and it's okay to be, to don't know the answer, and it's okay to be found. It's really, really inspiring me. All right, again, thank you so much, Sonia, for having today.
Absolutely. And it was actually inspiring to be with a group of youth like yourself, to learn from you, your journeys. Feel free to follow me on LinkedIn. Feel free to reach out to me in case you need help, support, finding a mentor for yourself. I'll be happy to assist you, guide you through your journeys, and really lead you towards that inspiring leadership you're all aiming to go towards. So, if you have any questions, you can reach out to myself through LinkedIn. I'll gladly help you and support you. One day the world will be opening up very shortly, and I'll be inviting you to my branches where you'll see me in action every day in life of a leader, is what I call it. So, Laura, if you wish to do that, join me and see what I do every single day in a branch, and I would love to inspire and aspire you.
That will be great for sure.
So follow me on LinkedIn, and I'll we can make some sort of a game plan to see. I call it a life in a day of Sonia, life in a day of a leader, and see what we go through every single day with so much of joy and passion for our clients.
Perfect. I did that.
All right, awesome. So we now have a break. We are hosting another RPC X Music performance by R&B singer Silo on the main stage. So Silo's work has received global recognition, charting virtually on both Spotify and Apple Music. Additionally, his songwriting skills have placed him in studios amongst Grammy winning and nominated songwriters in Los Angeles, New York, and London, UK. And also, if you haven't already, check out the network section or take advantage of the LinkedIn hashtag station before the day ends. We'll see you back on the main stage at 2 p.m. for our LinkedIn webinar. All right, thank you so much, folks, and thank you so much, Sonia. All right, have a good one.
Thank you.
Great work, Luan.
Thank you.
Great work, Luan. You were amazing.
Yeah.
It was super, super inspiring. Thank you, Sonia. A lot of useful information, not only work today, but I learned a lot actually.
Thank you, Luan. And yes, it is. If you're getting inside a leadership role, I think it's humbling, it's gratifying, it's rewarding, and yet it's a responsibility. So we take that with a lot of pride and courage. And sometimes we call it a bold leadership, because sometimes you have to take actions which you may not be what you want to do, but that's called bold leadership, right? Like having that courage to give feedback to my team. It shows that I care about them. And they clearly can see that I care about them. So sometimes you have to make those bold decisions for your team, which are the difficult days of my life, but they can clearly see I'm doing it because I deeply care about them.
Yeah, that's very evident. Even just like the passion when you talk about your work with others, it's very evident that you care very much for your team. And thank you so much, like I said, for taking the time to share your message with everyone. I really for me, it's the piece about being authentic as a leader and being vulnerable. I think that's really important for students to hear because they often have that positional leadership kind of mindset.
Exactly. Right? It's called hierarchy, right? And we want to remove those ladders of hierarchy and we show them that it's that mindset of a leader is authentic, it's vulnerable, and yet it comes with responsibility. So I'm so happy I could join in this. I'm excited to join in that RBCX music. That's really cool.
Yes, pop over. That'll be on the main stage in like 3 minutes. It'll get started. And enjoy the rest of your hybrid work day. I know you mentioned you have to head back into the branch. So, like I said, really, truly from the bottom of our hearts, Sonia, we want to thank you.
Thank you, Erin, and thank you, Luan. Luan, you did an amazing job. You are the leader of tomorrow. I can clearly see that.
Yeah, we were talking, Luan. I was messaging Danielle. When are you graduating? Like, you're not leaving the team this year, are you?
I'm gonna graduating this December.
Oh, good. We got you for more time. I was worried you were going to be able to graduate. So perfect. Good to know.
But don't worry. I'll be back in another 2 years of bachelor in the Trafalgar campus.
Perfect. Good. That makes me feel
Luan, you're truly the leader of tomorrow.
Yeah.
You are the youth we want to empower and inspire. And that's the workforce of tomorrow for our country, right? So stay yourself. You are also very authentic. Like when you speak, you have that skill where people want to listen to you, and that's a skill of a leader, right? So keep that trait within yourself, Luan, because that's for me was inspiring when I was listening to you.
Thank you so much.
All right, take
Enjoy
care.
the rest of your day, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Sonia. Take care.